Singapore's construction demand is set to reach $47 to $53 billion this year, prompting a shift to collaborative contracts like NEC4 in order to curb cost overruns through early warnings and shared risk. To discuss this, we are joined today by Renee Paik from NEC Contracts. Renee, welcome to the discussion. What is driving Singapore's high construction demand?
The country is continuing to invest heavily in long-term infrastructure, housing and industrial transformation. And let's not forget, this is not only for building and developing new infrastructure, but there's also an equal mandate to optimize the existing high-quality assets that we have in this quite mature urban landscape. So there's the continued development of the Changi Airport Terminal 5. There's the expansion of the Marina Bay Sands Integrated Resort, the IR2 expansion. Of course, we have ongoing MRT network advancements that includes the Thomson East Coast Line and Downtown Line extensions. Strong focus on public housing with ongoing HDB projects as well. And the good news is there's a clear push for green initiatives in Singapore, projects like the low carbon data centers and hydrogen ready power plants on Jurong Island, as well as the sustainable aviation fuel facilities. So as these demands converge, the ambitious new builds alongside the sophisticated long-term asset care, collaborative models such as the NEC become a real anchor because these contracts are precisely designed to deliver these types of complex projects.
Why are cost overruns a recurring issue in major projects?
If we look at major construction projects, the overruns are frequently stemming from underestimating complexity at the very early planning stage. So issues such as scope changes, design errors, think unforeseen ground or site conditions, regulatory changes, fluctuations in material prices, and all of these can erode the budgets that you've set, especially when you don't have early planning for these contingencies. And note that some of these projects and therefore the contracts run for very many years, even several decades for some of these projects. So a lot of things can fluctuate within that period. In Singapore, we also face rising material and labor costs. There's also stricter safety compliance requirements. This is all for a good reason, but it increases insurance and operational expenses. In facilities management, overruns are typically less dramatic because it's more of a service-oriented nature of contracts. But you see similar pressures for longer-term agreements, particularly when you have scope creep that's related to things like technology upgrades, evolving sustainability targets, or changes in building usage. In traditional contract models, where you tend to incentivize risk shifting rather than risk sharing, it fosters adversarial relationships. You hide things from each other. There's claims accumulation and then escalation when these kind of changes that we talked about arise. Whereas in a collaborative framework like NEC, it directly addresses these dynamics through early warning provisions so that you can surface issues before they escalate. Much more equitable risk sharing, also a clear contractual duty that's built in to act in mutual trust and cooperation.
What conditions are needed for collaborative contracting to succeed?
For true collaborative contracting success to happen, teams need to learn to operate with real transparency, enforce these early warnings, and also have shared accountability. So NEC allows for target cost approach where project parties share both the benefits of cost savings or the pain of overruns as they occur, rather than relying on something like a fixed lump sum contract. The early warning, very popular. So as the name suggests, an early warning system allows for potential issues to be identified at an early stage when things are still fixable. And that enables proactive management of issues. So it's a much better way to manage risk, and it helps projects to stay on track and within budget. NEC also demands a detailed three-dimensional program. And that's a key management tool where it combines and details client and contractor obligation and intention. And it shows very clearly how the work will be done. It's a living, breathing document. It's kept up to date. It's as realistic as possible. And it's one of the tools that keeps parties focused on important things like improving safety, improving productivity, efficiency, and all done in very real time. So it's not just a contract that your legal team references when there's a dispute, but a practical project management tool that's used by people who are delivering the projects. Other than properly adopting and applying this contract, I'd say that localizing contract clauses for regulatory and legal alignment is also essential for successful adoption. And to that effect, BCA and NEC had laid the groundwork back in 2024, developed tailored localized clauses to align NEC4 with Singapore laws as well as industry practices. And then these contract level benefits need to be complemented with very strong leadership support. So I think the public sector can really lead the way, be an example to signal best practices, but also build long-term trust in the industry for collaborative contracting.
Very interesting discussion for our viewers today. Thank you very much for sharing your insights with us, Renee.
Thank you for having me.
Once again, that was Renee Paik, Head of Asia Pacific at NEC Contracts. For more news, please visit sbr.com.sg.